Welcome. Here's a little review with the Viofo's new wireless Bluetooth remote control for a couple of the Viofo cameras, or Viofo cameras. This one has 3 buttons on it. What does it come with? Well, little manual. A replacement 3M sticker. The unit itself, what we've got here is similar to the old button, except now we have extra buttons on the side. A microphone button and an action button. You can see on the back it has a little pull tag here. That's just to enable it. There's a battery in there, and this mechanism slides off. You've got it facing with the buttons this side. So with the buttons that side, it slides off in the opposite direction. And there's the battery. It's a CR2032 unit itself. You can see they sort of followed the same patterns as they use on the dash cams, that interlocking method. It'll only go in one way, so you have to remember how you took it off. Just drop it down like that and then push it back on. Right. There's some text there that tells you which direction to push this on and off. It's actually on the lid, so it's a bit tricky when you're trying to do that. You just remember the microphone and the action button is the way to push it on and off. And you can follow the little steps. You go interlock like this. And just make sure it's sandwiched in, push it closed. Okay, now, so to enable it, you can just pull this out. All it's doing is allowing the continuity from the other side of the battery to touch the circuitry. So now it's enabled. I'll just put the lid back on now. When we press the button, we should see a light. There we go, a little flash of a red light. And the other buttons, microphone button, so red, also red. If I keep my finger on the button, not sure what will happen, let's see. Yep, it's trying to pair with a Bluetooth device, but I don't have any on beside me, so that's not going to happen. So it's going to look around, it's looking. How do you stop that? There we go. Either timed out or me pressing the button. And it could be the same with these. No. So it'll pair with just the one button, this one. So it's looking for a camera. Sweet. So how does it work? So what's the point of it? What's the point of this unit? Well, it allows you to have extra features on your dash cam that you can control via a button, which sometimes you need, like for HDR, switching it on or off. If it's overcast and you want to switch the HDR on, or for certain reasons, or you need to mute the microphone for some reason while you're driving. But in the menu options of the camera, there's other options you can use too. Okay. So that's pretty much it. The user manual is pretty informative. I may as well do it this way, eh? Yeah. So it's called the BTR200 Bluetooth. Not sure what the R stands for. The manual. They even bother to put colour in their manuals. I love that. And then on the other side, other side we got that. Don't want to leave that one out. There we go. And a QR code. Now it's designed to work with two cameras, one of them being the A229 Pro, which is a 3-camera unit. The GPS connector there. The rear camera slot here, a reset button there, back on this side. The interior camera uses a 3.5mm jack. That's your memory slot, TF card up to 512 gigabytes. I've only tested it up to 128, but it goes higher, can go higher. And of course the lens, which is a Sony 2 Starvis, a 676 Starvis 2, I think. So I'll crank this up and then you can see the menus. What I've got here is an external power. And it's rated at 5 volts and at least enough current to run this. On the A229 Pro, you can also power this camera up without the GPS connector. You connect the USB-C into the rear port of the camera.
Recording. 1 channel started.
Alright, so to get into the menus, first off you've got to stop recording. Or actually, before we do that, we'll just get the unit to synchronize. So what I'm going to do is just hold my finger on this and see if it'll pair. So I'm pressing it, it's flashing. Okay, I believe it paired.
Video protected.
There you go. So it's working straight away. It paired. I didn't hear it pair, but it paired. We've also got the microphone. So here we should have the microphones enabled. If I press the microphone button, oops,
Video protected.
I pressed the big button. So I'm going to press the microphone button.
Voice recording disabled.
See, it's now disabled. And depending on what the action is set on this, we'll decide on what it's going to switch on and off. I'm not sure, I haven't tested this.
HDR enabled.
Okay, so it just switched on HDR. If I press it again,
HDR disabled.
disabled. Isn't that awesome? So, let me turn the microphone back.
Recording. 1 channel started.
Turn the microphone back on.
Voice recording enabled.
Now, one thing about turning on and off HDR, when you turn on or off HDR, you'll find that it will reset its recording. Like it'll restart.
HDR enabled. Recording. 1 channel started.
See how it's restarted the recording? You see a little red dot up here. I'll do it again.
HDR disabled. Recording. 1 channel started.
And unfortunately it stopped the recording and restarted it. May not be an issue. Let's see what happens with the action button. Oh, that was the action button. Let's see the microphone button. So the microphone's on. Press this.
Voice recording disabled.
And it doesn't affect the recording. So the microphone can be switched on and off and the recording just remains constant.
Voice recording enabled.
So that's pretty cool, eh? Alright, then we can change what the buttons do by switching off recording, going into menu, going down to system, and going down to, I'm reading the screen upside down, but Bluetooth functions. So you've got microphone, but notice the little arrow on the side here. You've got menu options. So we'll go in there for the mic button. These are all the things, instead of the mic being turned on and off, you can actually do other things, like you can power off the camera by pressing the mic button, take a photo, turn on and off Wi-Fi, turn on and off microphone, and as we spoke before, turn off HDR. So if I go down here, I'm going to say, yeah, turn on and off the Wi-Fi. Let's see what happens now. And we'll get out of that, and that, and that. Get it to record.
Recording. 1 channel started.
Okay, so now when I press the HDR button, so now when I press the mic button, it'll switch on or off the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is off at the moment, so.
Wi-Fi enabled.
Okay. So instead of talking to the camera, I can just do this. If I do it again.
Wi-Fi disabled.
And we've got these extra features now. Really cool. Now the same thing applies. We go into the menu again. As you notice, the Bluetooth also had another option with the action button, so we can do that as well. And we have turn on and off Wi-Fi, take a photo, turn on and off microphone, power off the camera, and switch to timestamp recording or turn on and off HDR. So let's go to turning off the camera. Yeah. Okay, so I've set that now. Just back out of all of those.
Recording. 1 channel started.
When I press the action button, it's going to shut down the camera. There it is, shut down. Unfortunately, pressing it again doesn't start it. Pressing it again doesn't start it. The emergency button, nothing starts, restarts it. The way to restart is you can do it on the panel. Give me a long press on the camera, the button, I think. No? Yes. Long press on the power button is how you can restart it.
Recording. 1 channel started.
Really neat feature. Really, really neat. All right. So this is the BTR. This is an add-on for the A229 Pro and the VS1, I believe. I'm going to test that shortly. It's called a BTR200. As you can see, it's really functional, and the battery compartment's quite good too. It's a lot harder for the battery to fall out. And here's the packaging. What you need to go and buy. I'll put a link in the description, I suppose. There we go. Here's the product. I'll put a link in the description. And don't forget, you also get a second 3M label if you want to change where it's posted. If you want to change where you're sticking it. I've upset the focus. There we go. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Okay, that's done.